everybody. It's good to see you all again. It's another week for us to prepare for Pesach, and since we don't have a schedule tying to next Monday, means it's the last session before we would meet for Pesach, which is kind of hard to believe. So it's a week from Friday. And as I was going around my house today and just collecting things, which on my video when it wasn't alone, as I was going around my house today and collecting things, I was thinking about how we try to reduce all the clutter and we try to make everything more palatable and less stressful feeling in the house, and how difficult it is to do internally when our lives externally are so crowded and cluttered and everything like that, and how cleaning can really help us change our mindset, and how powerful the connection is between external cleanliness and inner peace and inner focus. And so I was reading an article today on Haggadot.com, which is sort of like a wiki for building the Haggadah for Pesach, but also has all kinds of other resources and tools for people to share different teachings. And one of the teachings that was shared was about using the different aspects of Pesach to start preparing, spiritually, to start preparing yourself for the holiday, both within the ritual practice and also within yourself. So we have the matzah, of course, the lechem oni, the bread of affliction. We have sort of our low point, sort of getting to the low point. And of course we have the chametz that we're sort of weaning ourselves off of slowly, which is also a bit of a difficulty. So we have both sort of going on at the same time, that we're trying to get rid of the chametz, sort of an interesting metaphor in and of itself, like trying to get rid of all the chametz in our house as quickly as possible. Hearing that dictum from your partner, maybe, if you remember this over the decades, please don't buy anything else this week. Please don't buy anything else next week. Please eat all of the food in the cabinets, even if you don't like it. It's sort of, we get very focused on sort of preservation, on consumption, on efficiency, all these things that we're not focused on the rest of the year, because we're focused on consumption of whatever it is that we want. And we're not so focused on using resources using resources in a conscious way. So that's kind of an interesting metaphor just right there. But anyway, so I wanted to start off by talking about the matzah, actually, not the chametz, but the matzah, what we're trying to get down to, the lechem oni. As I say that, there's like 16 boxes of matzah sitting across the hall from me in the next room. And when I look at it, I have this feeling of like immediate connection. Like I know what it's going to feel like to sit at the Seder table and pick up the matzah and tell the story again. And it's just a really powerful, it's just a really powerful practice that we all share. We all know what that feels like to pick up the matzah and to have that experience year after year. So in trying to get there, I thought what I would do is start with some of our lowest points in doing our first meditation. Start with some of our lowest points where we felt actually kind of humbled. If you want, you can use the word for yourself, humiliated, which might be a little bit much, but certainly humbled, brought lower, because we think about ourselves being brought lower, but we also think about Pharaoh being brought lower. And if Pharaoh is chametz, if Pharaoh is puffed up, then to lower ourselves is actually quite a good thing. To be in the same position, to see ourselves as if we personally came out of the land of Egypt. So as we sit here for our first meditation, and just take some nice deep breaths, thank ourselves for being here. Let's think through that. A time when we just felt really lowered, might have made us angry, resentful, indignant, even vengeful. And just sit with that. Because it's not so bad to sit with that. Because we spend a lot of time on self-promotion, self-congratulation. Our society is very fond of holding up the individual. Just feel what it feels like to sit with that feeling. It's not a great feeling. Being less important. When we think of shame in our society, we think of ridicule on social media, being brought low in front of others, having our ego damaged. And as you remember our meditation maybe a month ago, and asking Kadosh Baruch Hu for our power to be taken away. Take it away. Don't need it. not real anyway. And I know what my moment is. I'm thinking of it now. I hope you can conjure something for yourselves that's equally as tangible, relevant, and immediate. And sit in a low place. Oh, say shalom, Imran, Yaseh So now we'll talk about chametz. We started with matzah, lechem oni being in a low place. So we'll talk about chametz now. Chametz, of course, is associated with our ego. Chametz is being puffed up. Chametz is like watching the challah rise in the oven, going to a pastry shop, seeing a croissant or something, and sort of that the family. You see that you can literally see the air inside the pastry, and so we think about the air inside ourselves, and so we're literally going to do the same exercise we did before and flip it and think about a moment or sort of an arena in which we feel important, praised, uplifted, better, to use a word, if that's how you feel, superior to something or someone. Maybe it's practicing a little bit of Lashon Hara, well, I'm glad I'm not them. Or maybe it's being, a big macher in your particular career. Whatever it is, we're going to sit in this and see how this feels. Because it feels really good in the moment. And somebody says, like, you're the best at this. Everyone else I've come to didn't have a clue what they were talking about. You're the best, or that performance was, superior, or whatever it is. And how we feel in that moment versus how it really feels to think about being important. And knowing that the spiritual practice is, of course, to let go of all that importance because it's superficial and an illusion. So let's sit with this for a few minutes. Gratefully get back into this breathing. I've got mine. Let's see if you can find yours and sit with it. Feel the warmth of that compliment, that accolade. Just breathe it out. We're not rejecting it, we're just saying, that's nice.
Oh,
The Seder is full of these steps, and all of them have such beautiful, beautiful meaning for us. The steps aren't merely ways to tell the children how the night's going to go. The steps are ways for us to also look at our lives. Kadesh is this reminder of the Kiddush that we do on every holiday, and raise a cup. And as we raise a cup, we travel back in time to every Seder that we ever attended. And Orchatz, we wash our hands, we purify ourselves. We think of getting ready to go to shul, maybe on Passover or maybe on the high holidays. We think of getting ready for the dinner. We think of meals with our family throughout the years, throughout the generations. Karpas, the parsley, the beauty of spring. We think about the turn of the seasons. All of these steps, all of these stages in the Seder are also perceivable as stages in our life. They're also perceivable as something that grounds us and guides us through life to give us meaning, just like the holidays give us meaning, just like the days of the Jewish calendar give us meaning, just like knowing when our children's or grandchildren's or great-grandchildren's weddings or b'nai mitzvah may be. Whatever the case may be, the signposts are there. They give us an enormous amount of meaning. So what are the signposts that we're looking for this year, and what are we trying to, or which step are we in of our lives? Which step are we in? Are we in a step of rebirth? Are we in Karpas, which is spring? Are we in a step of Yachatz, which is breaking, which is just a total shock to the system, a shock in our lives that's happened and shaken up everything that we came to know and expected? Is it a story? Are we telling stories to ourselves and to our family? Are we doing blessings? Are we living a life of blessing? Motzi matzah. Are we blessing the things that we eat? Are we blessing the life that we have? All of these different metaphors are so important to understanding why the Seder is put together the way that it is and how we live it the way that we do. And especially because it's such a giant Jewish holiday for our community. It's year after year, poll after poll shows that it's the most celebrated holiday in the Jewish community, even more than the high holidays. So as we sit for our final time here, just think about which signpost is going to be your signpost this year. And it's okay if it's Yachatz, if it's breaking the middle matzah, if it's thinking about the tears of the karpas, we dip in the salt water, if it's thinking about that symbolism of a difficult year, that's okay. If it's thinking about a new stage, that nirtzah, that this is the end of one stage of your life and you're beginning another one. If it's Hallel, you're thinking that it's just, your life is so full and you just want to give thanks over and over again, then sit in that. And most importantly, it's tzafun, searching. If you're searching, obviously you must sit in that. But we all cross the steps, each one of them in our lives at a different time. If you lose track, just come back to your sign, focus. Colleague years ago who every time we would get to a step in the Seder, he would sing the whole thing again just on the step. So I'll tell you, mine was Barech, which means bless, because I just feel blessed. And as I was driving home tonight on the beautiful street that I live on, and imagining if somebody had dropped me here when I was a kid and said, "This is your life," I would have said, "Really? How did I get there?" So mine is Barech, 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 Barech. Barech, Bring our hands to heart center. Thank you as always for doing these sessions with me, for doing these meditations. Exploring our inner life together is the greatest privilege. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai